You want to get a little closer? Yeah. Yeah, that's good. Yeah. Hello, hello, hello. Yeah, so we've been talking about ways of drawing closer, having a deeper, more intimate relationship with our spouse. Because we know, as John Gottman, the world's foremost researcher in marriage, discovered that deep, intimate friendship is the one commonality to all successful marriages that they looked at, that his researchers looked at. And so we have, in our last video, we talked about a couple, I would almost call them superpowers. These are a couple tools that we have found, when used appropriately, seem to draw couples together in a profound way when they're done appropriately and consistently. Last video, we talked about needs, right? And this video, we're going to talk about love languages. Now, I can hear some of the groaning and moaning out there. Oh, I've heard about love language. I know all about those. I took the online love language thing, but it doesn't work. Well, the truth be told is what we found is that a lot of people know about love languages, but they don't know how to use them and how to meet them.
Yeah.
And they don't do it consistently. And so today we're going to talk a little bit about that, because I think these are important. Meeting love languages is a superpower in a marriage. So why don't we and we know this at firsthand.
Yeah. Quite a few years ago, I remember
It was another century, huh?
Yeah.
Be truthful.
calling Phil. I'd come home from work and I hadn't seen a lot of Phil. He was always working, it seemed. We're in his room and I just was feeling lonely and not having time together. So I just called him and said, I'd like to spend some time with you.
Yeah, I remember the call distinctly because it was an administrative day, thankfully. And so my time was my own. I had meetings all day and so on. And it was kind of late morning, almost noon, when Lynn called, and she said she was in a really tough spot. And over the months and even years before, I often thought that when she's in a place like this, I would do whatever I could to help her get through whatever that was. And so I would sometimes bring flowers because Lynn likes flowers. Sometimes I would do extra chores around the house so we could, so she wouldn't have to do them. Sometimes she's very affectionate and I'm very affectionate. So it was pretty natural just to kind of hug and hold hands or whatever. But
Or
honestly,
give me clothes that I didn't always wear.
yeah, like you never wore them. That's a whole nother story with another answer. But
Gifts.
so yeah. So anyways, but this day was a different day. I don't know how to describe it. But as I listened to Lynn and she said, "I just want to spend some time with you," it was like that phrase, "I just want to spend time with you," just bowled me over. And I had this aha moment, and I said, that's all she really needs. She says this all the time, but I haven't been listening. So I said, honey, I'm going to close up shop. I'm coming home. Lynn is a tea drinker and loves tea and any high tea and anything to do with high tea. And we have at that time in Vermont, when we were living there, we had a little, like a little nook. I think it was like a tea nook, and it overlooked the mountains. It was in our master bedroom, and it was a beautiful place, but we never sat there. We never took the time to sit there. Had a little table and two chairs. And I said, honey, just put the hot water on. Let's go home and have tea, and let's just spend some time together. And that's what we did. And I remember spending the afternoon. I have no idea. I don't remember what we talked about, but the day went by, and before we knew it, it was done. And I realized for the first time in our marriage that I needed to be very intentional about spending time with her. Well, that was our introduction to one of the love
Was
languages.
that before we even knew about the book?
Yeah, the book hadn't been, this is in the late 80s, I think. And I don't,
Discovered this on our own.
yeah, I don't think Dr. Gary Chapman, who basically wrote the book on love languages, I don't think he published that book until the early 90s. And then when we found that book and wow, I mean,
Actually, we put our house up in 96, didn't we?
that's true. So it had to be later, maybe.
Had to be later, yeah.
Yeah. Well,
But
whatever. We didn't know about the book.
We did not know about the book. We just
Yeah,
discovered it.
And then when we read the book, it opened up a whole avenue of closeness for the two of us.
Yeah.
Well, we probably, for the one or two of you out there who don't know what love languages are, let's just go over the 5 love languages. So remember, love languages are they're a way of expressing ourselves to somebody, and that somebody that we're expressing to, it speaks love to them, whatever that is. And there are 5 of them. So in other words, if so your love language is what?
Quality time.
Like I don't know it, right?
Yeah.
And quality time, and what does that mean to you? What does specifically quality time mean to you?
It means that I get to spend, it's one-to-one time, not group. And just talking, communicating, doing something.
Undivided
together,
attention.
Undivided.
Yeah, we're not doing this in a group, right? Exactly.
You're not on your cell phone.
I'm not on my cell phone. I'm not doing anything else. I'm not doing any work. It's you, it's Lynn and I. So
Right.
that's quality time. And and that was quality time that we kind of stumbled upon with Lynn. That is Lynn's love language. I had to, by the way, be very intentional when I got the aha moment to spend quality time with her. When I knew that, I said, this is a superpower. For some reason it works. I'm going to do everything I could to spend quality time with it. So we structured more dates, date nights, date days, anything we could do, hikes or cross country skiing in the winter, or whatever it was that we could do to spend time together, we did it. Because I knew this would meet her, this was her love language, and it would really, really be a superpower. So,
And then yours.
yeah, so I'm a words of affirmation person, and so words of affirmation really, there are 2 types of words of affirmation. One of them is written, and one of them is verbal. In the last few months, I've realized how much I really appreciate written words of affirmation.
Right.
Like cards, like I have saved every happy anniversary card that we have that Lynn has given me. And they mean so much. They're keepsake. I just absolutely love those. But verbal words of affirmation mean a lot to me. So that is my love language. Physical touch. How about physical touch?
Another thing about words of affirmation is I have to work at that myself, because I wasn't really raised in a family where that was a lot of
Practice.
words of affirmation practice. So, and I'm not going to be I'm not going to make up something.
Yeah.
I'm going to
Yeah.
think of something or write something that is, that comes from my heart.
Yeah, and it's real.
It's real.
Yeah, it's not phony baloney. So, yeah, so let me just get rid of this thing here. Sorry about that. There we go. So, physical touch. That's another. This is the third one we're talking about. So, physical touch they call appropriate touch, right? I think most people, I think Gary Chapman would say appropriate touch is probably not sexual touch. That's a whole nother super important form of physical touch. But I think appropriate touch is what it's termed now. And how would you describe what is appropriate touch to you?
Yeah, it's holding hands, taking, arm in arm.
Yeah.
Affection,
Yeah.
physical.
Yeah.
Touch or like
Hugs, right?
hugs,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Sometimes we're both people that like to emphasize something. We might,
Yeah, I'm a hugger.
touch. I'm
a hugger. I have to watch that because
Not
particularly,
everybody is.
yeah, not everybody is a hugger, and so sometimes I have to ask permission if I think they're so. And that's probably not their love language. Acts of service, that's another one, right?
Right. Cooking a meal,
Yeah.
taking out the trash, emptying the compost, whatever.
Is that a hint? Lynn is a composter big time, and she is a gardener big time, and I'm telling you. So I guess I'm getting a hint. I'll be emptying the compost coming up. Did you do that today already?
Yeah.
Yeah, you did. Thank you so much. Acts of service. I used to think that that was my primary love language, but it really isn't. It may be a secondary for me. So acts of service is the fourth one. The fifth one is receiving gifts. We have a friend who every time she comes over here, she or her husband come over. I think both of them receiving gifts is their love language. Often what you do for others is your love language.
It's what you
like.
Yeah.
And so every time they come over, he's a fisherman, so he brings fresh caught and filleted fish. His wife will bring
whatever.
Mangoes, fresh mangoes. They're in season right now, or they brought over a watermelon, brought their friends over. I mean, that's just who they are. So gifts can be gifts of any type. They don't have to be expensive. They could be anything.
They're just, you thought of the person.
Yeah, exactly. And this floats their boat. So what's important here is, and you can find this out for yourself if you take the online test. That is, if you Google love languages online test, it'll take you to a free test. They'll give you free results. And I think those are very accurate. That's a very accurate test. I think Gary Chapman actually developed it, is my best guess.
Yeah.
So one thing about love languages is they are often the way you kind of discern them without the online test is often the thing you do is for others is your love language that for yourself. You're expressing for others what you really appreciate and is your love language as well. So the five are what again? They are
love, quality time, affectionate,
words of affirmation, physical touch,
gifts,
and last one.
Sometimes I forget that.
Yeah, it's acts of service.
Acts of service. Right?
Okay, so once again, online test. It's worth taking if you don't know yours. Typically, what we do when we work with couples is we will, and this is where we find couples, they go wrong in not using these because they don't really they don't use them appropriately, because expressing your love language, you need to when you're dealing with a couple. When Lynn when I found out that her love language was quality time, I didn't know what it was at the time. We needed to find out, so what kind of quality time really floats your boat? What do you really like? And she told me Lynn had to find out what words of affirmation worked for you. And she found out fairly recently that written words of affirmation are they're so powerful for me. So what's important is that you find specifically how to meet each other's love languages. Number one. Number two, you do it in an authentic manner. So you don't want to give words of affirmation that are just phony baloney. You hadn't thought about it, and now you just need to kind of come up with it, and that people will see right through it. And so they have to be authentic. Your love language expressed to your partner.
And you do it. I knew somebody that when he realized that time was my love language and I wasn't feeling loved, it was a friend. Let's do something tonight, and that's but that was it, the one time, and not again.
Yeah, so this raises the third thing that's
consistently.
Right.
It's not just let's do that
one and done.
Then. Let's have time tonight.
Yeah,
but then
one and done doesn't.
You don't have any time after that.
Right.
It's
consistency is important. So be specific about meeting what that love language, how to meet that love language, and the only way you can do that is to find out from your partner. So how do I meet that love language? Number one, write it down. Number two, you want to be authentic, and number three, you got to be consistent. So listen, if this is interesting to you, or if anything that we've been doing videos on is of interest to you, connect on the link and connect with us. We'd love to have what we call a free discovery call, and it's really an opportunity to get to know us a little bit better, for us to get to know you and find out how we might be able to come aside you to make your marriage all that it can be and more. So stay tuned, and we'll see you next time. Okay, there we go. Are you sure you want to stop the recording? Yeah.